So welcome everyone. My name is Anthony if this is your first time to the channel. And today we're going to talk about the benefits of yoga. We have a series of videos on this on the channel, but today we're going to talk specifically about body awareness. Right? So sometimes you might hear it called proprioception. I feel like that's a lot of syllables to explain just knowing where your body is in space, right? Very simple, like where you feel. You feel in your body pretty much, right? Very simple. So in body awareness in yoga, one thing that you can experience when you first start practicing, but also that I see a lot working with people and also in myself when I first started, is a lack of awareness of where your body is in space. And that's pretty much all that word means, right? Is feeling where your body is in space. So sometimes you might, in other words, if you can't see your back leg, right, and you say rotate your leg inward or point your toes towards the ground or bring your arm up to the height of your shoulder blade, your hand up to the height of your shoulder blade, if it's not touching your body and you can't feel it, right, then you might not be accurate of where it is. And that's what the body awareness is, right? So that improves as we become more aware of the sensations in the body, right? Which really is what I'm always talking about, that because it's really one of the most important things. It's connected to everything. Learning to become more sensitive and feel sensations in the body, okay? So let's begin. So the first benefit is that it improves the awareness of where our body is in space, right? And this is for many different reasons beneficial, but here's a little test you can do just to have some fun, right? If you close your eyes and really be aware, feel inside your body, feel the sensation of filling out your body. In other words, try to feel the sensations of where the different parts of your body are, right? And then bring your index finger to touch your nose without looking at it, right? And already, even if you may not be able to find that, right, you feel like you're going towards it and it doesn't touch the tip, right? That's simple. But even more so, if you raise your right finger up, and no cheating, right? No looking out of your eyes a little bit. Bring your left finger to touch your nose, or if you're right-handed, feel free to reverse. Finger to touch your nose. And then without opening your eyes, just bring your left finger, index finger, to touch your right index finger, right? Now, most likely you may miss it, right, with just doing that. But if you bring your left finger back to your nose and then really consciously feel your nose, feel the sensations in your nose, feel the sensations in your left finger touching your nose, and then feel the sensations in your right finger extended. Be really aware of that. And with presence, with slowness, bring your left finger to touch your right index finger, right? And that's what we're talking about. Right? And then as that improves, right, you know where it is, you can do it quick. And then you could even move your finger and you can still do it. See? You can still do it. It doesn't matter where your finger is. So it's learning to feel it, because when you feel it, then it's so you can feel where the parts are, how far the parts are away from each other, which way they're rotated, how high they are, how low they are. And this is something that gradually improves with practice, right? And this is beneficial not just for the practice, right? Not just for knowing where your body is so you can rotate it in the right direction and everything and practice safely, but also in life. It definitely helps us to prevent injury, right? Knowing where our body is in space. Also, when you're walking, there's so many imbalances in the body, and it helps us to gradually become more and more aware of these, right? There's nothing wrong with that. It's very natural that the body decays and breaks down and imbalances form. But we can gradually be aware of these and gradually keep fixing them, keep repairing the imbalances, balancing things out, right? Being aware of them, instead of letting them go until it gets to a point where it causes an injury or becomes something else, right? And this brings us to the second point, second benefit, which is the prevention of and the improving of imbalance in the body, right? So with unawareness, right, we tend to habitually repeat things. In other words, if you walk a certain way, lean to your right side, right? And a lot of us do that if we're right-handed or left-handed. We tend to favor the one side because we're using that arm, that leg, whatever it is. So if we tend to lean to the right, say, the right side of our abdomen becomes tense, right shoulder, the right side of neck may become tense, and this side may become gradually compressed. And if you've ever done a test where they check your shoulders or your alignment, you may see that, someone is more like this. The one shoulder is lifted a little bit higher, okay? And it helps us be aware of that and start balancing it out. Now, the unawareness, right, when we're not aware of the sensations in our body, the way our body moves and what's going on, sensitive to that, then we tend to just habitually repeat, go through the same actions, same tendencies, lean to the same side, use the same hand, and all of that, right? And this keeps causing the imbalance. But with awareness of the body sensations and presence, right? That's what we're always working towards, right? Being here now, being aware of everything that's going on inside the body, outside of the body even, but more importantly, inside, I'd say. With awareness, we have the freedom to choose. So unaware, it's habitual reaction without choosing. But awareness, we can choose to repeat the action, which that's totally a legitimate choice, or we can choose to change it, right? So we can start, okay, we caught it this time, start changing it, lean a little more weight over to my left side, lean a little more weight over to my left side. Even sometimes throughout the day, okay, stretch my right side, and continue to try to put a little more weight on my left side, and slowly balance that out, see? I know it sounds like a lot of work, right? But the truth is that this is a completely natural way, right? Isn't it beautiful? You can do it yourself, okay? So a few of these things, we just mentioned one is favoring sides, right? A couple other things that happen, another example you can feel in your body, feel down in your abdomen now, right? And feel as deeply to the center of your abdomen as you can. And be aware, is there any tension? Is there any unnecessary gripping around your organs, sides of your abdomen, right? There's no need for certain things to be tense when we're sitting, right? We need some muscles, but not nearly all the muscles we're contracting. And we tend to, because of thinking or stress or whatever it is, habit or worry, whatever it is, we're uncomfortable in a situation or an environment, we tend to grip, right? Unconscious muscular gripping. So it's unnecessary tension, right? We might have contract around our organs, and all of this affects everything else, right? It's going to affect our digestion. It's going to affect everything, blood flow, right? So being more and more conscious of this, and it's also conserving energy, right? We feel less tired and conserve our energy because we're using a lot less energy when we let go of all the unnecessary expenditure of energy. Right? And that begins with the body awareness, but then we can move to the mind, right? Is that there's unnecessary worrying, thinking, anxiety, stress, all of these things. Unnecessary thinking and worrying about the future, right? Because we're just here now, right? As we begin to become more aware of what's going on inside, and essentially, it's a process of gradually bringing more and more attention inside of ourselves, right? And of course, this can be interpreted or misunderstood as ignoring the outside world, but the truth is that everything happens inside of us, right? So not just in our body awareness we're talking about here, but also in our mind. Maybe we'll save that for another video, right? But just quickly, just so you can understand what I'm saying, is that what I'm seeing right now, what you're seeing right now, is inside your head. It's not actually outside. It appears to be outside, but the pictures you're seeing are coming in through your eyes is just light. That's all. And it's not actually the image. The image is seen inside your brain, right? Inside your mind. I won't say your brain, right? But your mind. So it's all happening inside of you. You hear inside your mind. It has to be transformed and changed, right? From a vibration or a light, which maybe is a vibration. But light, frequency, it's all being changed in your mind, right? So we got away from the body there for a second, but coming back to the body, it helps us to enjoy more, right? Enjoy our body and our life more. Even if there's discomfort, it helps us be aware of those discomforts and heal, right? But when you bring presence to the discomfort, to the pain or the discomfort in the body, it really lessens all that. It lessens our suffering to some extent, right? Because we can just observe it and feel it as sensation instead of thinking about it, right? And wishing it would go away. If there aren't that many unpleasant sensations in the body, then it helps us to enjoy our lives more, enjoy our body, right? And get over anything that there's something wrong with that, right? Enjoying our body. It's a gift to be able to experience and enjoy the sensations in our body. And you can do that just sitting here if you feel sensitively. You can enjoy a breath, right? Just sitting here and breathing. A breath can be so enjoyable, the sensations of a breath. Right? The sensation of relief, just one breath. It be so enjoyable. And we can really get out of that just for a few moments, that doing, rushing, speeding up all the time and getting all stuff done in the external world, when there's so much beauty and wonderful things going on inside, and we can take a moment to enjoy that. And then that helps us to begin to prioritize our inner state, right? Because this is really where we experience the world, is inside. So if we're not feeling good, if we're not feeling present, if we're not feeling aware and calm, and not that you have to, it's okay, we feel anger, these emotions are normal, right? We'll talk about that in the next video, emotions, but it means not identifying with it as much, right? That's what it helps with essentially, is not identifying with the sensation so much, but we start to feel the sensations, like feeling my body, feeling this body. And it doesn't feel like I'm in pain. It feels like there is pain, right? There is discomfort. There is anger. There is irritation, okay? And the last thing is that this helps with recognizing the effects that lifestyle is having on our body. And then with awareness, as we talked about earlier, you have the conscious choice to change it or stay the same, which is okay. But it's taking responsibility for the things that we do, right? For our life, for our environment, for our situation, for our internal state. Taking responsibility for that, because then we have the freedom and the choice to change it. If we don't take responsibility for it, that is, in other words, that we created this over time, right? Whether it was conscious or unconscious, doesn't matter. But if we take responsibility for creating it, then we have the opportunity to change it. If we don't, then we have no choice, right? We're helpless almost. And that's not a good feeling, and it's also not true, I would say, because we have so much more potential than we are using. So I'll give you an example from my own life. I used to smoke a long time ago, and 2015 I quit. I had to think about that. But I used to smoke like 2 packs a day sometimes, 1 pack, 2 packs between that, and cigarettes I'm talking about, by the way. And and I quit smoking, but it came after I started doing the breathing practices and being more aware of the effects. I started to feel like I couldn't breathe, right? And I was not aware of that sensation before. I was not aware that I couldn't until I started doing the breathing practices, because I started to be more aware, come inside and be, wow, really aware of how limited my breathing has become, how out of breath I've become, and how painful even it is to breathe. If you've ever smoked, you know that it feels painful when you get out of breath almost. It's hard to catch your breath. And that helped me be aware of that and really make me so tired of it and frustrated with it that I was just fed up and done. And then it was a process. It wasn't easy to quit, of course. I tried many different things. And there was a lot of anger that came up, a lot of emotion, a lot of things like that. But I worked through it and tried many different practices, things. And if you're interested in that, let me know. I'll give you a video on just to share what I did. And then eventually I did quit. Another thing that it helps us be aware of related to that in a way is our breathing, unconscious breathing habits. So when we normally breathe, most people tend to breathe into their chest and rib area at most, right? We very rarely tend to breathe in our abdomen, and there's so many reasons for this, right? One reason is that fear and anxiety, if we're in a state of anxiousness, worry, fear, all our attention's up here, and we're not even focused on our breath at all, right? In a full breath. That's why when someone's worried, anxious, or hyperventilating or something, they tell them to breathe, breathe, breathe. Right? Calm down, take a full breath. So we tend to breathe very, very shallowly. And this helps us begin to be aware of that and take in more oxygen, which we've gone through in another video, the benefits of breathing. And I won't go into that now, but has so many benefits for your health, right? Energetically, chemically, physically, however you want to look at it. There's so many benefits to the breathing, right? To breathing deep, long, full breaths. Okay? It makes us aware of the breathing habits, but also other habits. And in improving our breathing, it also helps our digestion. Also being aware, have you ever brought your attention, you can try now. If you bring your attention down to your abdomen, wherever our attention goes, energy flows, right? Our attention, our awareness is such a powerful thing. Really, really powerful in healing. You can look up cases all the time of people healing themselves just with their mind by feeling and imagining and being aware and bringing attention and energy and all these different things, all these different practices, right? To heal your body. And if you bring attention to an area, like let's say your abdomen, and you feel uncomfortable digestion, right? Just bringing your attention there, just breathing more deeply, that massage on your organs, and even not even on a physical level of the breathing if you don't do that. Just bringing your attention there, you can feel keeping your attention in your abdomen for a while. Your digestion starts to move a bit, right? It starts to become more active. More attention down there. If we have all the attention up on our head all the time, then there's much less energy in the body. It's all coming up to our mind. So keeping our attention down in our body, always being aware in some sense of feeling our body, the feeling of the sensations of our body, filling out your body, right? How do you know your leg is there? Because you feel it. So what do you feel? And trying to be aware of that as much as possible throughout the day. Instead of multitasking, instead of trying to look at your phone while you're driving or walking up the steps, and I do some of these things, so I'm not saying I'm perfect, but you know what I mean, not distracting yourself, keeping some attention in the body, and then you can do one thing. Okay, I'm aware that I'm doing this. I'm aware that I'm doing this. Next thing, I'm aware that I'm doing this. I'm aware that I'm doing this. And being one thing at a time like that. If we multitask, we can't be aware of the sensations in the body. It's very difficult because we're trying to do many things at once and rushing, right? Slowing down, it all comes back to the same things, right? Slowing down, bringing the attention inward, being mindful, being present, right? So I hope you've enjoyed some of these things, and some of this has benefited you. And let me know if you have any questions about anything or need clarification on anything, okay? Or some of your own experience if you've healed through yoga or any other energetic practices. It doesn't matter to me if it's yoga or not, okay? So thank you for spending this time with me today, and I'll see you next time.